Yeah, looks
Um,
great.
yeah, when we start doing when the streams start in January, I'm gonna start having like looped music and stuff behind them too.
Cool.
Um, and I think we might. God, I guess I'm saying this all on stream now, but I think we might. I found this new. I think it's like called Ninja Video or something, but it's a free video chat service that I learned that a lot of people use for D&D. And the connection is better than Discord, and then it also lets you arrange windows and keep them in that arrangement so that I can actually like have a backdrop that has everyone's name and even like character art kind of like overlaid in the corner of the like everyone's screen.
Nice.
Um,
Nice.
and then it also on top of that, if somebody drops like out of the call because their internet cuts out, instead of the whole window disappearing, I can just have it switch to a static image, so it can just switch to their character art if somebody drops.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it'll be great. So, um, but let's begin. Um, welcome to Castle Run. I'm your DM Elijah Goodall, and we're gonna go around, and everyone's gonna give a quick little introduction of their character. And then you're also going to answer the question. God, I had one earlier when I was making dinner and I liked it, and now I don't remember what it was.
What would your
What's
character
your
make for dinner?
favorite toothpaste?
What's your character's favorite?
Don't ever do that again.
Horrifying.
Whoever did that.
It was
Definitely
100%
Tyler.
for sure, Tyler.
Never.
Yeah, actually, I do. I'm gonna say. Wait, did we do tea last time, or Aaliyah, were you
We
just
did.
talking about tea?
I mean, I'm always talking about tea, but I don't think either of those is accurate.
Yeah,
I
what?
wasn't
Didn't we?
talking. I'm drinking it. Does that count?
Last time we did what?
Moths.
Moths? Yeah.
Moths. Yeah.
Or something else.
I think it was something. There was something after moths. We're gonna do what
Was
type
it the
of tea?
Soup.
sandwich one?
We
It
did
was
soup.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
we're gonna
soup.
do what?
Yeah, yeah.
What type of tea? Not is your character, but was your character enjoy the most?
Cool. Hello, my name is Sean. I am playing Atticus the Last Phoenix, a big burly man with a even bigger sword. If he was a tea, he'd probably be like a nice, like bourbon maple tea, the one that they have at Trader Joe's. Yeah,
That's a very nice sounding tea.
it's okay at best, but I think
mean,
he would really like
he
it.
would like it, but it also begs the question: could you not just put maple syrup and bourbon in very hot water and then
It's not tea. Like,
have a
there's
better?
not tea in it, then it's not tea.
Okay, then you put a bag in it too. Just
Yeah,
just
that
an
would be
empty
tea.
bag and bourbon and maple.
An empty bag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, if there's not tea leaves, then it doesn't count as tea.
Well, okay. Put one. You can put a maple leaf. Just one maple leaf in a bag, and then
put a
maple
bird on
syrup
it.
and bourbon. Yeah.
I do have a really good recommendation for a black maple tea from a local
Ooh.
company. If anybody's interested, you can hit me up later.
Drop that in chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say throw that in the DMs.
Yeah, we're trying to get that
will.
tea money.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor, yeah. Give us a tea sponsorship. We'll talk all the tea.
We're talking about tea
I'll hold it up
sponsorships,
here all
Q.
the time with the tag on the bag placed right in frame.
I guess it's me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
My
I
name
have to
is-
think about it every time too.
Every
Yeah.
time. I'm like A, B, C. My name is Aaliyah, and I play Fauna, who is a human with red hair, green eyes. You know, she's a person, and she has horns though. So that's a little confusing. We don't really know why yet. She doesn't know why either. And if she was a tea, or no, if she would like, what tea does she drink, or what tea represents her as?
Yeah, I think what
would
tea?
she
Yeah,
drink?
what tea would you drink?
I think she would definitely be probably sort of a like foraged tea. So probably like spruce tips, like hawthorn berries. I mean, that's what she would like to drink because she
Yeah.
lives in the woods and she's a witch. So she'd just be like foraging little bits and bobs for her
Oh,
tea.
I like that. That already sounds like a very good tea.
As we're missing Thaddeus, I guess that makes me next.
Oh yeah, yep. Thaddeus will hop in with Maury a little late today, but
Cool.
I think he'll be here.
I'm June, and I play Nyx, who is to be fair, not a lot of them is showing. They have dark skin and gold eyes, and are a magic user of some kind. A lot of them is mostly just like leather armor and a leather headscarf that's just buttoned into their armor. And they have newly been freed from an enchanted locket where they were working as an assassin for the Night Guard. And they don't remember who they are or really anything. So they're just trying to figure out who they are and also owe the party a life debt. And drinking tea, I feel like black tea for sure, but probably like more towards like chai spice or like something that's like really not necessarily hearty, but like has a bit of a kick to it, a bit of an edge.
Yeah.
And also the most caffeine.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah. That is my favorite kind
Yeah.
of black tea.
That makes it me. My name's Tyler. I play Perrin Meliamne, the second to last Phoenix. And Perrin is the ranger and bard of the group. That really late reaction from Sean. The bard ranger of the group. No one knows what's going on there. No one is quite sure. Every time you think you know, you don't. He is either very sad or very not sad. We don't know. If Perrin was going to be drinking tea, I think he'd go for like a nice herbal rooibos, but he would do it like where you take like grape and other fruits and herbs and you put it in water and put it in a barrel and then you seal it for 3 to 5 years.
And then you strain it
That's
out.
the kind of tea, and then you
and
would
you
strain
put it in
it.
a bag.
Yeah, and you would
Yep,
serve
sounds
it
about right. Sounds about right.
bagged. Yeah. Just a classic rooibos tea. It's a sleepy time tea, really.
Yeah, which does make me want like, could you call it tea if you just put sleepy time? Could you call it tea if you just put a bunch of alcohol in a bag?
It depends on how you prepare it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be pretentious here, but I'm going to.
Yeah, what?
It's only technically
Leah's like,
tea
heresy.
if it has tea leaves, which comes from a specific plant. Even
Oh,
herbal
he
tea
for
is
sure
not
throws tea
technically
leaves in
tea.
there. Oh yeah, no, but he's gonna throw some tea leaves in there.
Oh, okay. If it didn't have tea, it would be a tisane. That's what it's called if it doesn't have real tea
God.
leaves in it. Just so you know. Sorry.
Okay, Aaliyah.
Please don't hate me.
I've
Tea
seen your tea
aficionado.
cupboard. It's
All right, you know what?
made
You know
for
what?
us prom.
Fine. I'll change my answer. He would want a 16 pack of twisted tea.
You, that's what I was
Yes.
going for. You fuck.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Aaliyah
I was
made
about
me
to
change
say-
it.
Well, I was about to tell
My
Aaliyah
bad,
not to
sorry.
be mad at me. It's fine. It's fine. Hi.
Oh, I didn't know the group would be so divided over tea.
I didn't know
I'm
we
outta
learned
here.
so much about tea.
We haven't even started this session yet.
Every time she tries to talk, all of y'all talk. She said I'm cute 3 times.
And another
Um,
thing.
You know, we need to settle this right now. No, just kidding. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm Thank you. I play Fox. a half elf rogue, a little bit temperamental, a little bit on edge. Not a lot of weird family shit happening right now, but it's the holidays, so I think we can all kind of agree all that weird family shit's happening right now. And since Vox can't be a twisted tea anymore, thanks to Perrin, Vox would just be a straight shot of espresso. Straight to the dome, a little bit of sugar, and just that real quick pick me up of energy. Actually, would probably scoff at tea and just ask for that direct hit of caffeine with the espresso.
Yep.
Look, I don't mean to be pretentious, but I'm pretty sure coffee is not tea.
Fuck.
Well, if you put the beans in a bag.
Oh my God,
and
you're
then
right.
I really hate myself
Fuck.
now, just so you guys know.
Fox actually doesn't carry around those little pebble beans. It's actually just coffee beans that she's throwing at people to make them fall and trip.
Oh,
Anyways,
handfuls of
that's
coffee
Fox.
beans. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Well, we are going to pick up where we left off. And I think during the last session, we kind of had maybe one of our first ever shopping episodes where everyone got to kind of pick through the enormous curio shop, the Black Mountain. And I think pretty much everyone found an item to, if at least one item to their liking.
Not Q.
we
That's all right. If I'm reading my notes, I have picked up a sack of knives to
for
bring
sure
to Vox.
you did pick up a sack of knives.
You're good to go.
I
You're
have
good to go.
one. I guess spoiler alert, but
Yeah, one sack of knives. I did, however, all of them being mundane. Like none of them are magic. It is just a sack of non-magical knives
That's
that was
okay.
to be sorted through.
Are they pointy though?
Oh,
Elijah, can you send me
exceptionally.
Can you send me the stats for my new Spider-Man web?
Oh my gosh,
Forgot about that.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I never got that. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I totally forgot. Yeah, because we call it's like essentially like a launch. Did we say it's going to be a dart launcher, right? I think that was what. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of rigged up on your
Spider-Man
hand.
web.
Totally. I will say actually, I might have it right here.
Can you fax that to me?
Till right now to ask for
No
that.
problem. I totally forgot too. Here's what I'll say. For now, just treat it like a dart with we're going to call it a 60-foot range. So a lot further than you could usually throw. But I believe darts, I think it's 1d4 damage plus your dexterity modifier.
Thank you.
So it's basically the same as a dagger, but with a longer range, and you can, you don't have to go retrieve it after you've thrown it because you just have more.
since we're just now asking questions about things we should have asked, do you want me to tell you what spells I picked for the 4 spell potions that Perrin got, or should I only tell you once
it
happens?
No, you don't have to tell me nothing.
Ideal.
Mhm.
Ideal.
Mhm.
I have written them down on my piece of paper.
Yeah.
Q, you do have to yell "Go Dart Go" though whenever you
You
shoot
do, yeah. I did forget.
Go
about
gadget.
that. Yeah,
dart
go
gun.
cute art, go. Okay.
I'm just
I
gonna
think-
leave now.
I think the two little cliffhangers that did occur in the last was that towards the end of last, we had that flashback of a young Atticus pretending to be a knight in the meadow. But right before that, we did have Nyx find what seems to be the twin of the dagger that they encountered in the House of the Five Tongues. And I think you rolled an 18 on that self-insight check to see if it triggered a memory. And we are going to get to what memory it triggers. I will say it comes slowly, though. And so it is going to come up in this session. But the first thing that we're going to deal with is the cliffhanger that happened at the beginning of the episode, which is that Vox left, mask in hand, for the Red Keep, leaving Bert behind and asking that he remain there because she didn't want to put anyone else in danger. And we are going to open the session. Vox, you said you wanted to put the mask on, correct? Right? That you got from the cabinet?
Yes.
Cool. So I think as you slip unnoticed out of the Black Mountain, you look at the mask in your hand. It's kind of a simple mask. You see like feminine features on the mask. There is kind of this like almost bright red, shorter hair that is kind of like swept to the side a little bit, and just kind of like goes down just kind of like almost to the jawline, but not quite. Red eyebrows that match it. And I think as you slip this on, essentially what this is going to have is like the same effects as the spell Disguise Self. So people can, if they like investigate, if they make an active like investigation check to investigate closer, there is a DC that would let them notice that this is some kind of a disguise. But I think as soon as you slip that mask on, you feel it conform to the contours of your face. And I think in less than 5 seconds, it doesn't seem to you as if you're wearing a mask. It feels like this has sunk in and is your skin. And I think as you do this, give me an Arcana check real quick.
It's going to be a 6.
Okay. On a 6, I think you're focused. And you don't really care if there's anything else to this mask. You do, I think as you put it on, you feel again like it conforms to your face pretty quickly and doesn't even really feel like you're wearing a mask anymore. I think you do feel down at like the base of the neck, you can almost like imperceptible, but you do feel like it's not going to be impossible to take this thing off. You do feel like basically like a crease where you think that you could remove it when necessary. But this is the new face that you wear. Still your eyes behind it. And still a mind that is focused on... Why don't you tell me as you walk disguised through the streets of Asparia with keeping the Red Keep in the center of your vision? Why don't you tell me what's going through Vox's mind?
I think right now, Fox is only feeling pain and desperation to not only clear her name, but to also save Riviana, her love, but to be reunited with her mom and possibly have to deal with that outcome of pressure of not knowing who her mom is anymore from being separated for so long and having to break hearts kind of to get to this situation. Like scared of seeing what both Riviana and her mother are going to think of her when they see her for what she's done to get to this point.
And I think as these thoughts cycle through your head and the red keep stays in the center of your vision as you cut through alleys and streets that are not as crowded as when you went to the Black Mountain. It's still like, it's not dawn yet. It is still nighttime. But the night market is dying down a bit. So it's easier to go, even in your disguise, it is also easier to go unnoticed and keep to the shadows. I think go ahead as are you trying to keep to the shadows as you head to the keep?
I think putting that mask on, it is a full just rush to complete something that has been weighing on her for her just almost entire life because her mom's been missing as far as she could remember. It is just like an in charge walk, not hiding anymore because she's already hiding behind a mask.
And you reach the gates of the Red Keep. And again, it's kind of like this there's these enormous towers, and it's all formed out of this seamless red sandstone, which is where it gets its name from. There are other buildings made out of the same, but none are quite as rich and red as this. I think the gates to this place, they're surrounded also by a wall. But you've been in here before. There is like a fairly large courtyard section to the Red Keep that people are allowed to come and go. Certainly if anyone seems suspicious or is doing anything that the guard deems unsavory to be done inside of the Red Keep, they would be removed. But I think the grounds outside the keep are open to the public and always have been, because that was how the former Lord Edris Salt, now deceased, wanted it. And as you reach these gates, again, they're open. The grounds are open in front of you. And I think there is a moment thinking about, you have that thought of you want to know who your mother is because it's been so long. And I think in that moment you think back to the night that you lost her, that she was taken. And it kind of scattered memories. You remember like the group of mercenaries breaking down the door to your house. You remember your father leaping up. And you remember seeing in the group of mercenaries, you remember seeing your uncle, Theon Windvlor. Large, very broad-shouldered man. even then, there were a lot of scars on his face, longer graying hair that kind of went down to his jawline, a nose that looks like it had been broken several times in several different ways. And cold, but not inhuman eyes. And I think that the image of him being among those is burned into your mind as you heard the sound of betrayal in your father's voice, saying his brother's name. And you remember immediately several of the other mercenaries went to like bind your father, to bind your mother, and you remember Theon came to you and picked you up. And as he like almost dragged you down the hallway to the back, opened a closet, took one look at you, and I think I think I'll let you make a past insight check. Go ahead as young Box and make an insight check for me real quick on your uncle in this moment.
That was a 19.
On a 19, you remember being so confused and so scared. And you remember seeing on your uncle's face, not anger, not cruelty. You remember seeing regret. And you remember feeling confused. And then he shut the door. And I don't know if Vox, a young Vox, would have tried to escape as she heard the sounds of like struggle out in the house. I think even if you had, you would have found the door blocked. And took about 5 minutes, which I think for you felt like an eternity, but things went silent. And when you were finally able to figure out how to get the door open, you know, kind of like looking underneath the crack and finding the chair that had been wedged against it, and like finding something to like push at the leg so that the chair fell out. The scene that you walked out onto, you saw that group of mercenaries dead, slain on the floor, and among the bodies of these strangers, you also see or saw the face of your father, Taran Winvlar. But you couldn't find your mother, and you didn't see your uncle among the bodies of the slain. And you are back in the courtyard outside of the Red Keep. What do you want to do?
Fox, just kind of remembering all of that, wipes away a tear of not being able to wake up her father and feeling just that sense of loneliness from her mom and uncle both being gone. And I think what she's going to do is use what she's learned in the past. She follows the knot in her throat and tries to, at this point, now that she's in the keep, disappear into the shadows and make her way up to where she has to go, no matter who she has to get through to get there. I think Vox at this point is just seeing a sense of dread and needs to get to where she needs to go, and would be willing to strike down anyone in her path to get there.
Okay. Well, um, before we get back to the rest of the party, if you are, I think what you see, like, as you kind of go through the grounds and sort of like these, I mean, it really is like beautiful, I think, desert gardens. So there are flowering cacti everywhere. There's a lot of, I think, abstract sculptures that almost mimic the canyons and cliffs of the terrain outside of Asparia. Um, and as you approach the front of the Red Keep, there are these massive dark wooden doors that tower at least 25 of these giant 25-foot double doors that are bound in brass. And I think that you see, you see several guards like in front of those doors, but again, like the doors are also shut. It's not like the Red Keep itself is open to anyone who wants to walk in without an appointment. So I will say, you can go ahead and make me an investigation check to see what different ways you can find into this thing. And I think as you're doing that, also make me a stealth check too, because I think at this point. Yeah. So yeah, make the stealth check too, because I think you don't want to be a person like running around the grounds, appearing to like look for ways into a castle.
That was a 22 on investigation and a 24 on stealth.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, these guards you tell me, are you just kind of like being very nonchalant about this whole investigation thing, or is there a point when you're walking through the gardens where you simply disappear?
I think that it's more knowing these gardens as well by spending so much time with Riviana and just like out there playing with each other in a way that Riviana wasn't comfortable. Fox is kind of known where to weave in and out to scare her lover sometimes and make her jump, so she knows where the shadows are. So she has just popped into shadows.
I think a 22 on investigation is very good. I will tell you that there is an old option that you are familiar with, which would be, there is actually like a secret entrance into the gardens that goes down into the barracks, which the barracks in the Red Keep are like underneath the keep itself, above the catacomb dungeons. So it basically goes like Red Keep, and then just underground is the barracks, and then under that is the catacomb dungeons. You know of an entrance that would lead you to a section of the barracks that is not patrolled. It's basically meant to be, in case the keep itself is under siege, it was meant to be a thing entrusted only to the most important royal guard, so that they could leave the barracks and then get into the castle from the outside, or vice versa, if the castle was occupied, get in. And you know that while there are most likely going to be guards down in the barracks, they're not necessarily going to you'll be able to get at least into the barracks before you have to worry about being spotted. Or that while you couldn't reach the highest, that enormous tiered balcony that you first saw your mother, Eva, on when you entered the city, by the side of the newly crowned regent, Balik, while you wouldn't be able to, you do know that there are other tiers and balconies on this thing, and it would be a difficult climb, but on a successful athletics check, you would be able to basically get up to the lower of those balconies and then get into the keep that way.
You really wants to take the easy route, but Vox has just blood in her heart right now. She is ready to get to the easiest way to take down her uncle.
Okay.
And she's just filled with those memories of seeing her father dead and her mom missing.
Yeah.
But even though she wants to take the easy route, she's willing to risk her life right now.
Okay. So I take it you're going to go for the climb.
She is. And that
Okay.
sucks for me because my athletics sucks.
Yeah. Go ahead and make an athletics check for me to scale this thing.
That was a 19.
Okay.
That was
You
a
are-
flat 19.
Yeah.
I have no bonus to my athletics.
I think that you are able to like make it to that first tier of the balcony. Like you wait for a moment when there are no guards, you melt out of these, and you are able to find, like, even in this seamless redstone, like the way that it works is it is kind of like it's not these sheer walls, it is almost kind of this gradual, so you are able to, like, with the weight of your own body and the way that you like able to almost like belly crawl up this, like finding the little places for your fingers to go into, and you reach that first balcony, over the railing, part the, like, these gauzy kind of white flowing drapes, and you walk into one of the long marble hallways. And I think in the distance you can hear like the clicking of guards' feet. You know, there are just a certain amount of guard that kind of roam the Red Keep in general, to make sure that the region is kept safe. And go ahead in this moment and make me a perception check.
Was it 11?
Was that 7 or an 11?
11.
Okay. On an 11, I think the amount of footsteps that you hear, you wager a guess that Balik has probably upped security. There are probably more guards in here than would usually be milling around the Red Keep. So some form of heightened security. I think I am going to tell you also on an 11 what Vox does not see as she enters, which is that having snuck away from the group shortly after, like, giving Fauna the message that Vox had left, at the base of the tower, following in your footsteps, is a small armored toad who also begins to climb the side of the keep after you. And we're going to cut back to the rest of the group. You are all, I believe, on your way out of the Black Mountain, headed for the keep. I will say, though, like a fair amount of time behind Vox, having kind of gone through and done your shopping, having the interactions that you had. Is there any last minute thing that anyone is doing on their way out the door?
Perrin is hefting his bag of knives and his bag of marbles and his numerous other items, and he's like, she didn't want us to follow her. We could just stay here. We don't really have to worry about Vox, right?
Didn't you get those knives for her?
Well, I know, but I can give them to her after.
So you don't want to give them to her when she actually might need them to fight somebody?
To be fair,
I mean,
to be very fair, if you're trying to break into somewhere, carrying a bag of knives probably is going to hinder you. I mean, I see where Perrin's coming from. That's all I'm trying to say.
are you saying
you're
I'm
saying
not
you
sneaky
don't
right
wanna
now?
Try to help Vox?
It's not about want. I'm just throwing it out there just so that we all are aware that we could respect her will and choices, or we could not.
We could
I don't
set
know.
our... Go ahead, Atticus.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's hard for me to hear down there sometimes. Speaking of down there, maybe I should ask where's Bert?
He's referring to your height. He's saying that you're very short, so like the distance is too far.
Wait,
Oh,
wait,
is,
whoa,
that,
whoa,
is
whoa,
that it,
what?
Perrin? That's what
Yeah.
he was referring to.
I just
Bert,
wanted it to be
what-
clear that Atticus is straight up racist towards halflings.
Well,
It's
his
rude.
Yikes, this really
his-
took a turn.
his toad is racist against frogs, so.
Got him.
Got
I'm
it.
sorry. It sounds like you all were talking about something really important. Where's Bert?
Isn't
That's
he your
the
buddy?
frog one, right?
Don't you follow? Where did he go?
Well,
At this point,
Can we
Fauna-
make an investigation check for that?
Yeah, sure. Everyone can go ahead and
I
make
mean-
an investigation check. But at this point, Fauna, you, the cat, ever perceptive and also kind of ever wandering around, sort of rubs against your leg and looks up at you. Hey, are they talking about that frog in the armor? The little green,
I think-
little green guy?
I think he's a toad, but yeah.
Oh, he's right there.
Toad.
Oh my god. That dog.
What is that?
Maury, who are you talking to over there?
Sorry, my dog just peed inside the house.
Aw.
Beans. Ain't that
What
They
a
just
bad
wanted
dog.
attention. They're like, stop doing whatever that is you're doing.
Yeah.
Pay attention to me.
Yeah, I mean the cat is looking up at you. Yeah, the toad. Okay, toad. You said. I mean I didn't think to mention it to anyone. It's like I come and go too, so I figured other animals are also allowed to come and go as they please. That toad left like a good probably 30 minutes ago.
Oh, and I guess you wouldn't have any idea where he was headed, right? Did you communicate? Can you make communicate?
Yeah,
Can the
no,
cat
I,
read?
no, I just talked to you. Read.
Okay.
Read.
Noted.
Like that thing that you do with the shapes,
Yeah, when you have
the weird
like
shapes.
yeah.
When you
yeah.
put a bunch of them on
You
a
don't know what
page.
that is, right?
Yeah, I don't care about that really.
Okay,
It's
That's
not.
fair.
Uh,
Yeah,
that
that
thing.
checks out.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody! The cat says that Bert left.
I think I know where he went.
Just to the bathroom?
I wish it was that simple. No.
Look, am I the only one who feels like I have no idea what's been going on since I walked into that pub and then I ended up over here?
Well, you have
Yeah, I
been
kind of feel the
extremely
same.
drunk the whole time, so
Look, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm just saying how dare you point it out.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I had a good sense of things until I walked through a door and ended up here. So, I mean, yeah.
Everyone's been surprisingly cool about that, by the way.
Yeah, how
You-
did that
you-
door thing happen? You were the one who
so
brought
now
it
we're
on,
gonna ask
right?
questions. Oh my god.
No,
You
I
brought
mean,
it
like,
up.
I've just walked through doors before and ended up in places, but never in an area where something immediately tried to kill me. So,
But I've
I mean,
never
tech-
walked through a door that Perrin has deliberately summoned. That's a
You guys,
first.
no, this is literally, we've done this together as a group dozens of times in the tower. We've walked in and there's a desert where you go through a doorway and all of a sudden we're in a forest. We go through a doorway, we're in a different forest.
yeah, but that was like contextual, you know, like that was like in a magical place, you know, like
So
I'm
you
just
summoned all
saying.
those doors?
I'm just
No,
saying.
what? No, we're just still in the, we're in the tower.
No, you're so right. You're
I
so
still
right.
don't really understand what this tower thing is that
Does
you're always
anyone
talking
really
about.
understand what the tower is? Exactly, you get it. I'm glad we're all in agreement.
No,
Oh,
don't,
Fauna.
don't
Is
think I do.
I think Bert, in their nightly duty, probably followed Vox wherever they went. So
So she's got backup?
yeah, I guess so. I mean,
I mean, that's
Spotting?
pretty good, right? Like, Bert, we trust Bert, don't we?
Bert
Yeah,
will
but-
die.
Bert
We
is
just almost
what-
saw Bert die. I mean, I like what you're thinking, and I like that you think that he is that guy, but he ain't that guy, pal. He
You
is
are
that.
grim
Yeah.
today.
He's gonna do his best, but he's just a toad.
He's a
Well-
courageous toad, though. Like
He is, but we don't want to lose him. Do we?
courageous toads have short lives. I think.
You're
Honestly,
fine with just sending Vox.
Oh
and
no,
Rudolph to die.
everyone. Vox is part of this crew. For better or for worse, we owe it to her. We've saved each other before. That is not a one-person job. So, with that being said, we need to go there because A, I owe them an apology, and B, sounds like there's some cool shit that might be there.
Why do you owe them an apology?
Oh, I yelled. You were there. I yelled at her pretty badly.
Oh.
It was not befitting of someone like me, so I need to apologize to her. I mean, we can help her too. I have that key. I got a key from my good old buddy down at the forge.
So do we
Make
want to
her
like
like-
maybe disguise ourselves and then just walk right in?
I think I can just get in. I mean, like I got enough stature as a noble. I mean, they know who I am.
Okay. I mean, so like you be a noble and we're just like the people that are with you?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Perrin kind of straightens up his like extremely tattered ranger gear and is like, "Yeah, all right, sure, that sounds great. Then we'll just follow you right in."
I mean, we're adventurers. You know, they know Atticus Phoenix is an adventurer. They've seen me in worse. I've walked through these gates butt naked before, so you know.
What
All
kind of
right.
adventure was
Perrin
that?
starts taking his clothes off.
Oh, Perrin, not yet. We gotta
this
get
right
there
now.
first. We gotta
Wait,
get there
what?
first.
Okay,
you don't have to
I-
walk naked the whole way there.
that seems
No,
way
no.
more suspicious to take my clothes off right before going through the gate. That seems way worse.
Well, they'll
I mean, that
see
does
you
seem like a
coming
good
otherwise,
distraction.
right?
I don't think.
Oh,
you
they're
need to
gonna
be-
see me.
They'll
First and foremost, great body parent. I just gotta say, good job. Secondly,
Keep it in
I'm
your
gonna
pants,
do this.
Atticus.
You don't need
it
to. I don't think being naked calls for it. I was just giving an example. You can come in your tattered clothes, and Atticus is gonna look around and
Why
just
did
kind
you
of
say
see like.
tattered? Why did you specify? Now Perrin is extremely self-conscious.
You said it. I wasn't the first one to say.
No, that
Do
was
not
Tyler.
gaslight
Tyler
me.
said it.
Do not gaslight me.
Tyler said it, not Perrin.
and I think is like you're kind of having this discussion. You all start to set out from the Black Mountain. The cat looks up at you, Fauna. God, all of this fuss over like one elf and a toad that wandered off. You know what I do so that things don't wander off when I want to keep them? I put them in my mouth, and then you just hold them in your mouth, and then they don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I know that works for you, but I can't really hold all these people in my mouth at once.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a very big toad too.
Yeah, I can't really stop them from wandering off, but we can go and try and help them.
Hey Elijah, before we leave the Black Mountain, can we pick up some healing potions?
First Perrin got
Does Perrin just take
access
them
to
all?
some potions, and then I also think that Fauna, you got some as well, correct? Yeah. So I think I don't know how many that is between the group, but that was the extent of the potions that you found.
Gotcha. Did Perrin share that, or is that just right into
No.
the bag of gone?
The bag of gone.
The backpack that Perrin invented last time.
Yeah.
Like his clothes are shredded and just like hand sewn back together, but his backpack is gleaming.
Fur-lined backpack.
Yeah.
I'm
For
sorry, tattered came to my mind.
How dare
Hey.
you break the fourth wall?
I'm so sorry. I thought you said that in character. Atticus is like looking at the group, and he just kind of notices Nick's like zoning out, and he goes, "Hey, are you there? You seem very
What?
far off
Sorry.
right now. I know you got a lot on your mind, but we kind of need you here right now.
Yeah, of course. And they'll take the knife and sheath it within their belt alongside all their other plates. And we'll stand up and what are we doing?
Long story short, Vox went off to the Red Keep. They may need us. I mean, I think so. I think it's time to put whatever half-cocked plan in motion of what we're doing there. Support Nick to make sure
Understand.
they don't kill themselves in the process.
Look, I'm just throwing it out there. Like, we could take our time, maybe lay down, have a rest that's medium to long in length.
The new
I am a
5e
little
mechanic,
sore.
the medium rest.
I'm a little sore. I mean,
It's medium for everybody but
Are we-
Atticus, because
are
the
we
bed's
sure-
going to be shorter.
Are we sure she's going to the Red Keep now? I mean, I know she stormed off, but maybe she just needed a little time.
I mean that's a fair point. Maybe she'll just come back around. You know?
No, I think didn't Bert tell me she was going to the Red Keep? Eli?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Bert
Okay.
definitely,
Okay.
Yeah, Bert definitely did.
Yeah, Bert told me that that's where she was heading. So
Yeah, so I think you would all know. Because then Fauna relayed that information to the group.
On second thought, no, I mean,
Yeah. I think as you all head out from the Black Mountain then, a couple things happen. I think Atticus, your finger is drawn to the pocket where you put that ring from your great-great-great-grandfather. And if you're going to put it on, go ahead as you go to put it on, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
5.
On a 5, the ring is a little too tight and you kind of have to force it past that knuckle, and it does go past the knuckle, but you are like it's gonna be like a real bitch to get off your finger later if you want to take it off. And I think that's it. It feels like amber.
Atticus, that's a pinky finger ring.
Oh shit.
And as you kind of are struggling with that ring, and begin to head out of the black, I think as you are sort of like descending the steps from the front door, I think Nick's kind of like, if you are, depending on where you are in the group, you kind of like hear little feet scurrying, and kind of catching their breath as they run up behind you. And you just feel a little
Cricket.
tug on your...
Just in time.
And Cricket looks up at you. Cricket, almost forgot. Saw you react to this in the House of the Five Tongues. I know you took the other one too, but they're a pair. Maybe Cricket feels like they belong with you. And Cricket pulls out of his little robes a kind of wrapped up, but about the size of that other dagger, and holds it up.
Is this what I think it is? And Nyx will open it up. How on earth did you pry this thing off that table?
Oh, well, there's a little, it's kind of a trick. It didn't really have anything to do with the knife. Cricket did a little trick and took this, it's a secret because it's how Cricket makes money. And maybe don't tell the moth that sometimes I'll borrow things from here to make. But I think
Honor among thieves, your secret's safe.
And Cricket just gives you a little bow and kind of like takes one last look at the rest of the group and then goes scurrying back into the Black
Wait,
Mountain.
Cricket. Thank you. And Nyx will bow quite lowly for tiny little Cricket.
Yeah. Cricket gives you a kind of like flustered and somewhat like embarrassed, like bows a little bit too deep so that his like beak actually almost like clicks on the steps and then scurries inside. And think I'm going to also let you like, you know, intervene with any plans that the group wants to on. Obviously, you know, you have the walk to the Red Keep to like make your plans as to how you want to approach this whole thing. But I will say, as you begin to walk the streets of Asparia on your way to the Red Keep, Nyx, you know, as soon as you take that other dagger out, I think you've got them both. You know, the one you can see has a symbol of the waxing moon on its hilt, like right there at the crossguard, and the other a waning moon. And as you hold both of these in your hands, there's a hush that falls over the street. And I think you're usually keen, perceptive ears that like pay attention to footsteps and where people are coming from, and the footsteps, even your own, there's just a hush that falls over them. And Asparia is not a place like you haven't really heard insects the whole time be here, but it almost seems like you hear that circadian rhythm of crickets, of nighttime insects, like breathing in and out. And I think as the light of a waxing moon catches you in beams as you walk the streets with the group, you hear another set of footsteps walking beside you, clearer than the others. And you hear a voice. Finally found those knives, did you?
I think they'll tense at the footsteps, but then as soon as they hear the voice, they relax and almost like take a breath in of what feels like night air, and I don't know. I've missed this feeling. I've missed you.
And I think you see the speaker now walking almost in a translucent way. They're not entirely solid, but you see that wearing a white cloak, skin as dark as yours, and these deep brown eyes that almost have like a reddish tint to them. And their mask pushed down, unlike yours, fully revealing their face. Hood still up though. As the waxing knight looks over to you. I also have missed you. It has been a long time.
Are you going to make this frequent occurrence now?
I am not sure what magic is in the knives, my dearest Prime. But be assured, as often as I can send you the comfort of my spirit, I will do so. Do you remember where you come from?
I think I'm starting to. It's home feels like the Nightlands. Not the Nightlands we know now, but
No. Not the ones we know now.
ones we used to know, and Nyx will reach up to grab their locket, sans the one shard.
I think the waxing knight, keeping pace with you, but looking back forward in the direction of the keep. You go now, then, to help as tell me, do you help because you are indebted to help, or do you help because they are an ally?
I help because I owe them, not because of this and the tattoo, but not entirely, at least. This feels like my fault. Even I'm not even sure I understand the full weight of it, but it also feels like the right thing to do. No one should be imprisoned. No one should be taken against their will, or I don't know. Fox is a lot of things, and I'm not sure she would like to be called an ally, but I do owe her. And I do need to wipe that part of my slate clean.
You speak of wills, but I do not think you know your own. And it makes me wonder, my dearest Prime, do you also know that you were never meant to serve? And I think, picking up their pace, the waxing knight steps further ahead of you, and as their pace quickens more and more, they vanish from sight. And you find yourself walking through the streets with the rest of the group. The noises come back. They're not muted anymore. And you look down at the daggers, and I'm going to send you over a little snippet because you now have I'm going to send you a little message on Discord.
A matching set.
The daggers wane and wax, and there are some benefits of having these daggers when you cast Shadow Blade. So,
Oh, nice. I like that spell.
And we're back with the rest of the group. As you draw close to Red Keep, what's the plan? What's the plan of?
All right. So everyone, we'll go over it one more time.
Should we take the benefits of a short rest?
Here's what I'll say. I think your downtime, like in the Black Mountain, I think I will allow a short rest to happen here. So I don't know if anyone is potentially still missing hip. I think you took a long rest before you did take a long rest before you entered the city, like on the outskirts of it. So you definitely wouldn't have hit points lost, but if you have cast any spells or anything, with the short rest, you'll get back half those.
Yeah, we all got healed after that combat, right?
Oh, that's right. You had that big combat with the keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They healed all of us though.
Out of 37.
I think you were all healed though.
Yeah, we were all healed by the old Mothman.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah,
So
he took care of us.
No, I think I remember saying that. So I think in session I said that not only were you healed, but the moth gave you the effects of a long rest.
Oh, okay.
All of you, Vox included. Like I think that happened before Vox left. So you have everyone's got their spell slots back, their hit points, all that.
Cool.
If there's been enough time, can I attune to those glasses that I that I borrowed?
Yeah, I think those. So the Arcana check that you got, in order to attune to them, you would have to be wearing them.
Okay,
and
I'm not ready for that.
Yeah. If you are wearing, there are saving throws to be made while you're wearing those things. I mean, on basically the way that it works is on successful, enough successful saving throws, and you're going to negate the bad effects of wearing those glasses. At which point you will attune them and then become accustomed. But it is, it will be
I have -1 intelligence.
Yeah, it'll be a lengthy process.
No problem.
All right, so just one more time for everyone before we get in. I'm gonna try and get us in on my my notoriety. At that point, and he like digs through his armor and he pulls out the cell key and his map, and he puts them together and hands them to Maury, and he says, "This is the key we talked about. This is for the person of interest that we need out of the cell, and then this map should, if I've picked it up, reveal certain things of interest and map it as you go, so you'll know how to get back out. At that time, while you sneak away from the group, Perrin and I will try to gain an audience and create a distraction of some sort, and hopefully give you time and give Vox time with whatever she's doing. But I mean, does that sound like a plan to everyone? I mean, I'm loud and clumsy. I mean, I can't be going through cells and stuff like that.
Fauna, how does that? Are you joining me, Fauna?
Yeah, I think the cat and I can't go invisible, but we should be able to at least aid you in the breaking out portion.
Okay.
Yeah. Are we trying to find Vox, or are we trying to break out prisoners?
So
we are trying to help.
Out of here, she had bloodlust in her eyes.
We are trying to help Vox by doing this.
We're trying to give her time with whatever she needs. I think you should go with Fauna and Mori. If a fight breaks out, at least I'll be able to take it. If I'm in close quarters, I'm no use to anyone. So just one
All
more
right,
time.
sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
With that being the plan, before that plan goes off, we're gonna cut back just for a second to Vox. And Vox, I need you, as you've like entered the keep now, I need you to make me another stealth check. Definitely not a low stakes stealth check, I would say.
Oh, 16.
Okay. On a 16, you begin slipping through the halls of the Red Keep. I think able to like dart behind pillars and a lot of like similar. There's a lot of similar like sculptures and statues in here to as the gardens outside. And really, the Red Keep is it's almost has this like I think, while maybe you've never seen an art museum, it really does almost have that museum like quality where there are a lot of long corridors and kind of large grand rooms that are there for nothing else other than to display different works of art. There are a lot of like tapestries and sculptures in some of these rooms. And I think as you are walking down the hall, there is a tapestry in particular. Again, like this hallway is like the ceilings are a good like 25 feet. It's kind of these large domed ceilings above you. And there's a very large tapestry that hangs down. One side is still hangs, even in his honor, even after his death, is the Lord Edge's soul. And opposing him, hanging on the other tower, is go ahead and make a history check for me.
Oof. That's a 3.
On a 3, I think even on a 3, like this person looks familiar. There's this woman opposite. Oh, actually, you know what? Because of your connection, I don't think the history check was necessary because you would know who this is. Because this woman, like long, straight, gray hair. On top, it's wound up into a bun, but there's enough hair that like the underneath layer hangs down straight. Wearing armor very similar to Ravania's, that gold armor with the trim, bright blue showing through. This is the Lady Ursula Salt, both the wife to the Lord Edris Salt and also his protector, and the mentor and teacher of Ravania Brighthand. And you also know that she, under mysterious circumstances, was killed 10 years prior. But as you walk by, you get an eye on this tapestry, someone that you recognize because of all the times that Ravania would point her out to you. You feel Matchstick at your side, and it begins to burn and just quiver slightly in the scabbard.
I think just feeling any little bit of burning, Fox would pull him out and just like pull him out kind of like this like an arm around like it's gonna
Yeah.
do anything and just be like, shh, what? What?
I'm sorry. I do not know. I feel something. I feel something burning. No,
You're burning.
oh my God. Okay, well, I will try. And you see, there are almost these like little intangible flames that are burned, and you see kind of like but it's still there is still heat emanating and a shine that is not usually there to Matchstick. Can you tell me who is that lady in the tapestry?
Doesn't everyone know who that
I do not
is?
know. I am a talking sword. I've only been the places that you have taken
Oh.
me.
You lived a whole life without me? I found you.
Well, I do believe I lived. lived a life.
A voice. Shh. Where?
Oh, yes. I do believe
Look.
I lived a life.
It was his wife. I don't know. She died like 10 years ago. I don't really know what else happened. It was kind of very touch and go there for a second. Mysteriously, she just died, but wonderful. At least that's what my partner told me.
You say she died. Such a strong and noble woman surely would not have died unless the circumstances had been dire. Did she not have a trusty steed to carry her to victory? A shield, a sword to slay her foes?
Look, Matchstick, not all of us are so blessed to have you, my very annoying, slightly bit of a hindrance companion. You're great. You're a little loud. You talk a little much, but you know what? I'm lucky to have you.
Yes, I know we are sneaking right now. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're sneaky.
And I think as you are holding Matchstick talking, Vox, you feel that burn begin to travel, I think, through your hand, through your arm, and it reaches your heart. And as it reaches your heart, you realize, the heat is intense, but you don't feel any pain from it. And give me an insight check real quick.
It's a 13.
On a 13, you are holding a talking sword whose only purpose has ever been to go on quests with you and avenge what you needed avenging. I think even you feel this heat. It feels like purpose, and it feels like more than just your purpose. I believe I was once also the sword of perhaps a woman much like this one. I think.
You have a weird kink for strong women. That's great.
Yes, well, I found you, did I not?
You did. Again, the tone just a little. We're trying to not get caught here.
Yes. Well.
And Matchstick, you've been great, and I feel. Did you have a name before I named you Matchstick, or are we cool with that?
I believe I was once called Brightburn.
And are you just might have same energy with her, or?
I do not know. But whatever it was before, I think I would like to take up that role again. Let's go.
Absolutely. We're here on a mission. I'm going to hopefully give you blood.
That would be fantastic. It is the blood of cowards, no?
The voice, the tone,
Ah,
yes,
yes.
voice of cowards.
The most
Yes.
delicious blood. All right, let's go. Fantastic.
Look, you help me, I'll help you.
All right. And with that, I just sent you over on Discord the new stats for Brightburn.
Yes, you did.
I
Yes, you did send me those.
I did. And we are going to cut back to the rest of the group. I think we will probably go if you are kind of splitting into like for one part to do a distraction and the other group to find a way to sneak in, we'll probably go with the group that is doing the distracting first. Before we do, does everyone want to take our bathroom break now? Before we...
Yes.
Cool. Let's do it. And we'll come back in 10.
Aaron's best name.
And I think coming back to it, yeah. What does Team Distraction do?
Yeah. So I think I'm sorry to force roleplay everybody else into this, but as we are leaving,
No, you're not.
I'm a little. I'm sorry that I'm doing it, but I'm not gonna change what I'm doing. My notes are horrible, so I don't remember what this place is called. The mountain that we're in.
The Black Mountain.
It doesn't matter. As we start to leave, yeah, that is. As we start to leave the Black Mountain, Perrin, as everybody else is talking about these plans, Perrin is saying very little, but he is. You know that thing where, like, if somebody hands you something and you're having a conversation, you don't usually question it, and then later you're like, huh? He's doing that, but he's like handing people things and taking things back from them and just kind of like passing some things around. So he's like taking cloaks and blankets and various bits and bobs and straps and this and whatever. And as they approach the point where they're going to split up, he begins putting all this stuff on and strapping it in. And I use disguise self, and everyone kind of glances away. And when you glance back, Perrin looks exactly like Vox.
That'll do it.
And his hands are
Smart.
and
Nice.
his hands are chained together, and he looks over at Atticus and says,
Daddy.
well, all right, I'm Vox. Go ahead and arrest me and turn me in for the bounty. Oh, but I hate you, you big.
Yeah.
I knew you would do this. You would betray me. I've been paranoid about this the whole time. I knew for a fact this would happen.
Yep.
Oh, shucks. I'm gonna kill you like that king I killed.
Well, when you break the rules in front of me, Miss,
Shucks.
you get what you deserve.
And that's what I am, a rule breaker. You give me a rule, I'm gonna break it.
Keep yapping.
Maybe don't
Keep
admit to
yapping.
killing the king, though. Just we don't
Wait,
wanna get
keep
boxed in.
yapping? In that case, I'm gonna stop yapping.
And I think as you are having this, you walk up to, like, you have walked through the courtyard. You are at the doors to the Red Keep, if that's where you're taking this distraction. And there are 2 guards in kind of that like royal guard outfit, the brass armor.
I'm immediately
frame.
Atticus is just going full like, once again, Atticus, the last Phoenix, has caught the Kingslayer themselves.
Shucksy doodle, I would hate to be thrown in prison and for a bunch of gold to be given to this handsome gentleman.
I, as a noble, demand an audience in front of the ruler of this land.
But I don't want that. That's not what I want. I want the...
Too bad. That's what you get. You need to answer for your crimes.
Is he the
Guidance on both of them, and also minor illusion on Atticus as Atticus the last Phoenix. Like
Awesome.
wind blowing and the armor glinting and just like dramatic music playing.
Beautiful. So I think go ahead as you are doing this. I think Atticus, this does your role is you're telling the truth about being the last Phoenix. You aren't necessarily telling the truth that this is Vox. I will, however, let you roll this as a persuasion check instead of a deception check.
Aren't I the one being deceptive here? Shouldn't I be rolling it?
So, Perrin, you're going to roll a deception check, and Atticus, you're going to roll a perception check. But Atticus, you get to roll your, not a persuasion check. You get to roll your persuasion check with advantage because of the minor illusion that is going on.
Cool.
Also, you both have guidance.
I rolled 2 19s. That's awesome.
I rolled 19 plus 3.
But 19 plus 3, yeah, same.
22.
You see.
Oh, hi, by the way, my name's Tyler. I play Vox. She's her. And Vox is kind of like if you just take suspicion and bottle it up inside of a bottle of cuteness, but you're just like, I'm mad at everybody. I think everybody's trying to kill me. That's Vox. That's the character I play here in Dungeons and Dragons.
And Sun Bear.
So,
Oh yeah, I should have used disguise self to look like a naked bear.
well, I don't think anyone would know about that whole thing.
But it
So
would be a distraction.
You approach these two guards; those are very, very good skill checks. I think, without saying a word, there's kind of like one tall, kind of like like it's classic, like one tall skinny guard, one shorter, kind of more stout. The tall one immediately like looks at both of you, like pulls out a poster, looks at the poster, looks back at both of you, looks at the poster.
Perrin is making like the same face. If
And
anything, he
just-
looks like he's been sketched in ink.
Immediately you can see like goes like opens the door enough, like those massive doors to the front of the Red Keep, opens it and just goes sprinting off down the hallway. The other shorter, stouter guard comes up to both of you. Oh my God! So you caught the regicide. What do we call them? The the. Well, you
That's
got
the
her
one.
anyway, friend. So that's.
I mean, who else
fantastic.
but
You
me?
You said your name was Atticus.
Yeah,
Do you
he
not
caught me.
know the Phoenix? The Phoenix clan?
More Wingus.
Not familiar, I'm afraid.
What do they teach in history nowadays? You should know this.
I didn't know. History is not part of my trade.
You know-
Royal
You know what they taught me in history? Stealing things.
I
I'm
reckon
gonna
they did. They also teach how to kill kings in history, did they?
I'm gonna
Lots of
smack-
Nope,
people.
I taught myself that.
I'm gonna smack
Absolute filth.
Perrin disguised as Vox in the back and be. You will speak when spoken to.
Oh, if only I had
shit.
one of my knives that you are wearing in that very fashionable backpack. Wow, what a look you have there.
I made it myself. Anyways, come on, and he's gonna start marching Perrin down and he's going, come on, see.
And-
Sorry, friend. I'm afraid I have to stop you right. You can't just go into the car. Look, listen.
I'm just gonna
appreciative this
stare.
does appear to be-
Intimidatingly.
Go ahead and make an intimidation check for me.
While we're doing that, can I roll my sleight of hand for the things that I stowed on every other member of the party?
Yeah, for sure.
Minor illusion anime style, like Atticus's face darkens. Shadow looms.
Do I get to use Vox's sleight of hand bonus, or do I have to use mine?
It's definitely yours.
Okay, I rolled an 18 and I got a +3. So everybody in the party who was with us, you have 3 knives on you.
Nice.
Inexplicably.
Just like,
Stab.
inexplicably hidden in different pockets that you didn't know you have. Mari, you have an elven charm hung around your neck. Let me make sure that I'm doing this in a way that makes sense for everybody. Fauna, you have my longbow and my arrows. And Nyx, you are holding Ornament of Rights. All 3 pieces are strapped to your back.
Is that like the Belmont Morningstar
Yeah,
whip
yeah.
thing?
So that's-
nice.
Right now, it's a quarterstaff and a quarterstaff length mace, and then the other attachment is attached to the quarter. So it's in pieces right now, and
Okay.
it's not loose. It's tight, so it's not going to make noise. And
How
then
did I notice the longbow? I'm just like,
Look.
oh god.
yeah, Fauna's just continually surprised by the world around her.
Every time I look over my shoulder, I'm just like, oh, with a
Yeah.
like giant bow strapped to my back.
Atticus, you also have 3 bottles of wine in pockets, and I don't know. That's probably good enough. Everything else is in my pack. That's on your back.
Yeah. I rolled an 18
Okay, cool.
on that.
I think on the 18, the guard looks at you, kind of backs down a little bit. Well, I mean, I suppose I'll take you. I'll be.
I mean,
I can escort you inside. No sense. In
I
you
mean,
waiting out here.
don't
You've done.
don't
us
you
a
want to
favor.
be the guard who brings in the person who caught?
I have to say, it does sound awfully promising for my retirement plan.
Oh,
Let's go. Hey, come on then.
Yeah.
Follow
call
me.
all your friends. They're gonna want to see this. Atticus has done it once again. He's like marching fake Vox down while trying to call everyone to attention. And he's gonna glance back at the group and and he's just gonna keep doing that.
More guidance all around.
Yeah, I think as you head in. So as this guard takes you through the doors into the Red Keep, is it just Atticus, you, and Perrin that are entering?
Yes, I think.
Yeah, I think this
everybody
is
else
your
is split
time
off.
to. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, as you enter, the guard kind of sidles up to you. Oh, big business, getting a king killer like that. Oh, what I wouldn't give. Well, friend, I have to say, I haven't known Balik long, and he does seem to be, well, a bit pricklier than the former king, but I think I'd be right to say that there's probably a hefty reward headed your way.
Wait, I mean, if he's prickly, I could take care of that for you.
You get your king killer.
I put my hand over the mouth, and I'm like, I don't do this for gold, or I just do this to do right by the lands and the kingdom.
Right. Oh, it's just the same as me, you know.
Yeah, if you knew my family, you know I don't. I mean, the only reward I need is the praise of the people who I've saved.
Yeah, well,
Perrin steps on Atticus.
Any day over.
Perrin steps on Atticus's toes, like.
Yeah. So, anyways,
now, friend, I see you have there on your back a magnificent sort of pack-looking thing. What did you say it was called?
It's called shoulder holders. Shoulder holders. Yeah.
God.
Am I mistaken to think that perhaps you're also something of an inventor?
I'm something. I'm some sort of something. That's for sure, Mister.
That's fantastic. I love to pitch you on a little something I've been cooking up. And you can see he reaches his hand into his jacket and pulls out like a pair of reading glasses with a little like bit of like leather twine like wrapped around one and then attaching to the other side of the glasses. Now, friend, I don't know if you ever need a pair of reading spectacles or what have you, if you've known anyone, but you'll see the string here when I put these on my head, you know.
Where were you a couple days ago? Because I swear
I've been right here on my post.
You bet you should just retire right now. You should just go and start making those, because you will be a rich man. I will tell you that much.
But do you have a name that rhymes? Do you have a rhyming name for it? Because if you don't have a rhyming name, it's not gonna last.
You need to be quiet, prisoner.
Okay, I'm just saying.
They're out of line, but they're correct. You got to have like a name for it.
I've just been calling them keep-ems.
Atticus kind of like looks at Vox and is like, "Hey, Vox, you're going to be richer than most kings in this land. I'll tell you that much."
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
That is 18.
Oh,
thank God for advantage.
Early retirement. Well, thank you, friend. I tell you, this puts the wind back in me sails. Something fierce.
Atticus is going to pull 1 gold out of his pocket and hand it to the guard and be like, "This is an investment from the Phoenix family."
No, I couldn't possibly.
To get
no, I couldn't. Oh, bless you. Atticus, you said it was.
You are just wasting away here. You are a man of talents. You should be off inventing things and being creative. Who put you in this place? I'll tell you that much. This gold is for you. This is to get production started immediately.
Bless you, Atticus Phoenix. And if ever you come a needing a favor from old Gert Mungler, you just track me down and let me know.
Gert Mungler. Gert Mungler.
That's me.
I'll take you up. I'll take you up on that one day.
Soon to
But
be famous inventor.
you're gonna go down in history books, the ones you didn't read. Doesn't matter because your name's gonna be in it.
Tomorrow.
Well, actually, maybe there is a favor you can do for me.
What? Wait.
You know, I've
Speaking
traveled a
it.
lot.
Speaking,
And-
it shall be spoken.
I've never gotten a tour of the Red Keep before. I've been here so many times. You think maybe before we go in, we can? I mean, they're
So, why
No.
not for the catcher of the king killing the investment in, sorry, been hit on the head one too many times, forgot my own fucking name. Doesn't matter at all.
Gert Miscrudel.
The investor in Gert Mongler, be happy to give you a tour. Been here almost 20 years.
It's all right that you can't remember your name sometimes because everybody's gonna remember your name.
You have absolutely delighted this kind of rough around the edges portly guard, and he's going to give you a full tour of the Red Keep. With that piece in place, what is the rest of the group doing?
All I know is somebody said distraction. I don't remember what we're distracting for.
Oh, sorry. I was just taking down notes about Gert Mungler.
Gert
It's
Mungler.
in the chat. I don't know if I spelled it right, but I think it's short for Gertrude, right?
Is Gert Mungler just the reverse world of Bert?
The Mungler monocles.
That was good. I like that.
That is good.
I'm gonna put pass without trace on everybody for starts.
Cool.
So that
Awesome.
that +10 to stealth checks
Yep.
again applies.
I shouldn't have.
And you can't be tracked except by magical means.
Perfect.
Great.
Is that only if we are intentionally stealthing, or is it just like no matter like if we're just
Anytime you make a
Uh,
stealth check, but it's,
Mhm.
if you're
not like
sneaking,
if we just want to be seen normally, we wouldn't be seen normally.
you
Okay.
no, you
Yeah,
totally
it's not invisibility. It's just like if
Yeah.
you're trying to hide yourself, you have like insane advantage to that.
Yeah.
So Maury whips out this map that Atticus handed him, like a grandpa with a newspaper, because it's different in size.
Tell me,
And yeah, looking for I guess the dungeon is where we'd start.
yeah,
As
Um,
Maury voices that.
Do we need to get into the keep before we can break off to? Because maybe we can just join this tour and pretend like we think it's just a public tour that's happening. Like once like the guard is giving Atticus a tour, we could just be like, "Oh, is this the tour? Oh, okay," and we can just like go along.
Also,
it's up to
Nyx
you.
has
You totally can.
Nyx has been here before. Can I do a memory check to see if I
Oh.
remember the layout or any nice ways to sneak into?
I don't think we
place?
should go with the tour, Fauna, because I don't think they're going on the route to see where the prison is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought maybe it would get us in, and then we could just like slip away after not very long. But if there's another way in, then that'd be great too.
Yeah, so here's what I will say. You open up that map, Maury. And I believe someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Canon Atticus is the only one that's ever looked at the map, correct?
As far as I know, yes, but I haven't been here very long.
Yes, I've only looked at them.
Maury,
Oh no, I showed people the map when we were coming into the city.
Oh, that's right.
But
did.
you were holding it.
Okay, that's right. You did. Well, wait, you showed people the map when you were in the Whispered Way, right? When there was nothing on it? Or did you show people the map coming into the city too?
No, while we were coming into the city,
Okay.
I
Okay, cool.
show people were like checking it out.
So you look at the map, Maury. You see the map. It's a pretty detailed map of like, and you notice that the drawings on it have changed. It's almost like it's zoomed in on the, so it really just kind of shows mostly the Red Keep on the map at this point. It's a very detailed map. You don't see any points on it highlighted though, as you look at it. But here's what I will say. You have this map. Nyx, you have been here before, even though it might be hard to piece those memories together. I think that there might be a certain sense of intuition that could guide you here. So what I will say is whoever wants to make it out of the... Actually, we'll do it like this, because this kind of lets you roll it with even better than advantage. Everyone in the group, so all three of you can go ahead and make an investigation check, and I will honor the highest one.
19.
Yeah, it's a 6.
That ain't it.
Yeah, I got 12.
Okay.
Map holder,
Maury,
tell us
yeah.
where to go.
Maury, on that 19, you see in the details of that map, you do actually see the like secret entrance that Vox knew about that you can see leads down to the barracks, which you can clearly see are like beneath the Red Keep, but above the catacomb dungeons where Ravania Brighthand is being held, thanks to Atticus's information. So you see that. I will also say that as this is a magical sort of map, it is constantly updated with there's some erosion that has happened around the base of the keep, particularly towards the back, which would also be like, again, like that giant balcony at the top of the tower is in the like behind the keep from where you all are at the front gate, but far beneath that at the base of the tower, there's some erosion that has occurred. And because of that erosion, there is a small section of the wall of the tower that is broken away and opens into a almost just kind of like a small, like natural chimney, which if climbed down would lead to the caverns that open into the catacomb dungeons. So there's a direct route down there if that is the way that you want to take, and that's where you're headed.
That seems naturally convenient. Active perception check.
Cool.
Make sure there aren't any guards around.
Yeah,
that would ruin
everyone
things.
go ahead now, because I think as you like begin to skirt the like tower, the grounds surround the tower, but I think at this point it is probably important to keep stealthy unless you specifically have some sort of like gambit that you want to run by being seen. But if not, everyone go ahead and make me a stealth check and add that pass without trace bonus.
So I got a nat 20. Which is with everything else added 38.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Wow.
Nyx, no one else, you are not seen. You you
I
can
am
get
Shadow.
everyone else there. Tell me what this looks like.
All the guards go home.
My job is actually just shadow.
I feel like Nyx, like, just naturally to stealth, like, sides up close to the wall, and almost the same effect that happened when they first stumbled out of the broken locket, where it was like this room and then all the shadows just like drew into them and like found a home in like all of their nooks and crannies, and in the hood and everything. It's that same thing with the wall, except they just blend into it. So it's almost like the shadows like wrap around them and like welcome them home, and then they're just gone.
Damn, Nyx's vibe is cool.
And as that happens, I think Fauna and Mori, you find yourself also wrapped into those same shadows. But whereas Nyx feels at home here, the two of you feel a little bit like strangers in this place. Fauna, you're reminded of all the times that you would walk some of the darker trails in the Evewood, and in those moments always kind of like be keeping eyes out as you would hear twigs snap in the distance, and not as much light reached those places, and you feel that same feeling now. Mori, you get that feeling that you would on nights closing the shop, putting out the candles, blowing out the lanterns, and leaving with the door locked behind you as you felt the darkness of the shop behind you, and all those silent voices of textiles and books, objects that were familiar to you, taking on unfamiliar shapes in the darkness. And there is not a guard in the world that could spot the three of you as you make your way around to the keep to the back. Mori, go ahead and give me that perception check as you see, just like on the map, that crumbled away part of the base of the tower that leads to the chimney descending into the caverns.
18.
This honestly, like, you have to, like, there's a lot of this section of the, like, those gardens, you know, extend all the way around the tower, but the walls are closer to the tower on this side and the balcony above. The gardens over here really aren't kept as well, so there's a lot of overgrowth, including like just massive kind of, instead of pristine cacti that are blossoming and flowering, there's a lot back here that are just kind of like almost big scraggly messes that sprawl all over the place. But on that, the most excellent stealth check, you are able to kind of easily skirt behind and you find behind a lot of this cacti scrub that descending, and you think honestly like this looks like something that is probably decayed and fallen apart within the last 6 months, and it is probably just gone overlooked.
Cool. So I'm gonna make an opening in it with mold earth.
Cool.
Get
Yeah.
a nice size opening for all of us.
Yeah, you can do that, no problem. And
Can I one aside? When we all left, we don't have any knowledge about what has happened to Vox. So presumably the plan that we discussed involved we need to find Vox and Bert and presume that they're inside the keep somewhere. So everyone's just like keeping an eye out for Vox lurking around somewhere, just so that's
yeah, cool.
Most definitely.
We know they're here.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't know where they are.
Yeah. I just wanted to clarify that before we got too deep into this.
As you kind
If
of
it's-
yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if it's eroded, are we sure it's stable to climb down?
I think on that perception check, it looks like the base of the keep has eroded away. This whole like basically this like natural chimney opening that leads down to caverns has been there for a really long time.
Okay.
And was just exposed because the tower's kind of crumbled away here. But on that 18 perception check, this looks safe. Like the only erosion that has happened is not in the actual thing you were climbing down. It was just on the foundations of the tower that reveal this hole, basically.
Cool. Just
Mori
checking before we go
also-
in there.
Mori walks in style too. So like as he was going, he was making steps with the earth as he was.
Yeah, I think with that
trotting
mold
down.
earth, none of you even really have to make an athletics check to descend this chimney. You're able to mold earth and kind of just create this staircase that goes all the way down. And as you descend into this space, you come out into like the initial opening in this. You're not immediately in the dungeons. You're kind of coming like out, and you find yourselves at the back of a cavern. The ceilings, are maybe 8 feet high. They're like kind of rugged outcroppings that stick out. And you also notice, like, while the ground beneath you is sand, there are sections where the sand dips, and you can see there are puddles. So it's almost like the water level of the nearby river is like high enough down at this base that like you're either walking on kind of wet sand, or the sand is lower than the water level. And there's, some, at times you're walking through like 6 inches of kind of brackish water. But after that initial cavern, it opens up, and you see like, there's kind of like, it's a combination between like actual space that was carved out and then just naturally existing grotto underneath the Red Keep. And there's just kind of this long hallway with different caverns on either side, but these caverns are all gated off with iron bars. And
I have a potentially dumb question to ask. Mechanically, can you ready a spell while holding concentration? Like ready in action?
you totally can, as long as it's not a concentration spell.
Okay, then Nyx
Or
is going to
wait.
do that with...
Actually, you absolutely could ready a spell to, but even if it's a concentration spell, but the second that you cast it, pass without
The
trace
concentration would end. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Nyx is going to do that. Trigger being hostile attack or like surprise of that sort.
Cool. I think, however, I'm going to let that stealth check of 38 keep writing. There are a couple guards, but they are like kind of at the far end. No one expects, like, they're at the far end of this, which is like a fair ways in the distance. Like, it's a pretty massive sprawl of dungeons down here. There are not guards expecting anyone to come in the way that you're coming in. Like, as far as they know, everyone behind them, they're just inhabitants of the cells.
You said there was like a little bit of water in the bottom of the...
There's a lot of like sections where the sand dips low enough that there's like then these pools of brackish water everywhere. Yeah.
I feel like just out of habit, to mask their steps like through the water and splashing, Nyx like almost like out of the corner of their cheek is doing like dripping like wall sounds with each step to like...
I love it. Okay. I think as you were sneaking through this area, like most of these cells are empty. I think that there are a couple that you see kind of like what may have been like marketplace thieves, or like you see a couple old men in one like kind of chained and just sort of like probably half starved and closer to death than not. They certainly don't see you as you sneak through here, and you think that you'd actually probably have to make a fair amount of noise to rouse them from the just kind of the comatose state that they're in. But there is a larger cavern cell, and you can see like the water in here, like the floor of the cell is almost all like 4 inches of this like just kind of like reddish swirling. It's not quite mud, but it's not quite water. And I think chained in the center of the cell, like her arms like on chains that ascend like all the way up to the ceiling, and then shackles that are kind of like down in the muck that she is standing in, and kind of like almost in this position too where like the standing has gotten so, because the chains aren't low enough that's in a position where she could sit or even kneel, but the legs are so tired at this point that you see the like chains are pulled, the cuffs are tight against her wrists. She's not wearing armor. There's just I think probably at one point before being imprisoned, a very, very beautiful, very regal looking woman. A like sharp jaw, a like long bridge of the nose. And I think even with the things that have occurred to her in the months that she's been locked away down here, still like there's this gold light that shines still in her brown eyes. She's just kind of wearing like a tattered blue tunic, no armor on, no weapons. Her hair like is long, goes down past her shoulders, and is just kind of like ragged almost and in front of her face. She doesn't see you. You have a 38 on stealth, but you are in front of the cell.
Are there
And-
guards nearby or within earshot?
Yeah.
I think not really within, like, you can barely hear like the clink of their armor and stuff that kind of like echoes down the halls. I think no perception check necessary. Like, you think you could have a quiet conversation, it would probably go unnoticed, especially with the amount of like truly like drips and creaks and clangs that there kind of are going on down here in these catacombs.
Still, to be safe, Nyx will to Mori and Fauna like just hold up a hand like and like almost like wait a second. And cast message into her mind and say, don't react. Call on your training. This is a jailbreak. I'm going to heal you, but I need you to still appear feeble.
Yeah, and message. People can respond to message, right?
Mhm.
One response.
Yeah.
All you get back, you see the woman doesn't look up at you, but all you get back is, who sent you?
Fox.
You see that the woman raises her head slowly, but just enough to like make eye contact with you. And you see tears in her eyes. She doesn't say anything though.
And I'm going to cast Cure Wounds.
While Nyx is doing this, Maury's gonna mage hand the key up to those gauntlets to cut
Awesome.
those shackles and
Yeah.
unlock them.
Wait, is she not in a cell? She's just manacled up.
There's a cell too. So there's
So
like,
is the
but there
key for
are
both the
there is
cell
a-
and the manacles.
Yeah, you can undo the manacles first if you want, because you can mage hand that right through the bars, but there is like a door right there too that you think the same key would be used on.
We'll do the door, and then we'll
Okay.
do the man.
Cool. And again, I'm gonna let that stealth check keep writing. Like, you do this, the shadows wrap around and almost like quiet the noise too, as it just sort of like the creek just sort of blends into all the other noises that are happening down here in this grotto. And as the
Fauna.
Yeah.
Oh, just before we get into that, Fauna's going to ask the cat to just creep down the hall in the direction of the guards, just to keep watch in case they start to come our direction.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, the cat looks at you and nods and goes pawing down the...
Heal for 13.
Cool. As you send that Cure Wounds, Maury, the mage hand is like unlocking the shackles. And I think at the same time as you send that heal, you see, instead of like falling to her knees, you see she gently descends to like one knee, and goes to like hold next to her ankle as the mage hand again, like on the shackles down below. They click off, and Ravania
Nyx.
Brighthand, former captain of the Royal Guard, stands up and looks at all of you, and gives a deep bow.
Hilt first, Nyx is going to pass over two of their daggers. They're regular daggers. They're just basically swapping out for Wax and Wayne.
Cool.
And give a nod in return, and I'm next. Let's get you out of here.
Where is Vox?
Nearby.
Since Vox has friends now.
More or less.
Whether
Surprising
she
to me,
likes it
too.
or not.
Maury's disengaged. He's gone and walked down towards where the gate is, where
Yeah.
the guards are.
Okay, cool.
I'm Fauna.
Fauna. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Ravania Brighthand, former captain of the Royal Guard for the Lord Edris Salt, and now accused of being a co-conspirator with his killer, which I'm sure, if you're friends of Vox, then you know to be a false claim.
Oh, we know all about that. As much as I'd like to stand here and have a conversation, we should probably get a move on.
Yes. I'm assuming that Vox went after her mother.
That
We think so.
seems to be the case.
Well then, we cannot delay our aid. And she slips both daggers into like little concealed pockets on both sides, just underneath the hip.
Can I add another person on to pass without trace, or do I have to recast it?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think you would have to recast it, but let me look at the wording of it. Making you and your companions for the duration each creature you choose within 30 feet of you. Actually, you know what? Kind of the way it words, like these shadows, I'm going to say that, yeah, it can extend to your companions, which now include Ravania Brighthand. So,
Wait, each creature I choose, yeah.
yeah. So she is wrapped into those shadows as well. More, do you want to make a perception check for me? As you kind of sneak down to see what's going on with the guards.
Don't stray too far.
How far?
Or you'll
how far
lose
of a
the
distance is
benefits
it?
of my shadows.
Well, I rolled an
30
already
feet.
down there too.
30 feet.
I rolled an 18 originally. Is this how big of a room is this?
I think it's basically like this long corridor in the caverns that connects to a lot of the different cells. But at the end of this corridor, it kind of like there's a crook in it, so you can't quite see where the guards would be until you sort of like get to that. But you could definitely get up there and like peek around the corner.
Is that within 30 feet?
It's not within 30 feet, but I'm going to say like everyone else is kind of close enough behind you that you could keep them sort of, if you're all headed in that direction.
And also, if necessary, I feel like while maintaining conversation, Nyx is kind of like watching Maury and like slowly like sidling over to like keep the distance between.
Yeah. So go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okie doke. 12.
Okay. On a 12, you look around the corner. You see that kind of that source of light that you could see reflected on the caverns is just kind of like there's a single lantern. At the base of, you can see that there are these stairs that ascend up and out of the dungeons. And there's just kind of just this single lantern hanging on a little peg next to him. And you see a single guard just kind of sitting actually with their back to the steps. Just kind of like sitting there. And they just have a deck of cards, and you can see they're just playing some sort of like solitary card game as they sort of like lay cards out, rearrange them and stack them on others. But you just see the one guard. Big old ring of keys at his side.
I'm going to use my what's it called? Shoot. The awakened mind, and tell the party behind me that there's only one guard and to halt for a second. And I'm going to see what Nyx and Fauna, what their thoughts are, if we move forward, or are we trying to extricate this guy, or are we going in to see about helping Bob?
Are there anyone else in the cells nearby? I know you said that most of them were empty. Is there anyone else in the dungeons that like...
You see like
Do we wanna
those
bust out
couple like
everybody?
older, what probably look like thieves. You don't see anyone else down here. You think that
Okay.
like, yeah, these dungeons are used either for probably very high profile people, or people get thrown down here and forget. Like, you certainly see skeletons in some of the cells.
Do they
Okay.
do they look helpful?
Helpful skeletons,
Helpful skeletons.
not necessarily. Most of them have all their bones. Nearly,
Most
300 in some cases.
Is anyone secretly a
good.
necromancer in the group?
Nick Stabbles.
I feel like Fauna might be if she went, to
Yeah.
the dark side.
And I think as you like Maury, Fauna, and Nyx, as you are all kind of like, you all gather around that corner to decide what to do. While not a necromancer, Ravenia is a woman of action, and with a natural 14 on the die plus the 10s, like, she walks right past you, walks directly up to the guard, looks down at him, he looks up at her, and his face just kind of goes slack. He drops the cards that he's playing with, and she just takes his helmet and smashes it against the side of the wall, and he slumps to the ground unconscious, and she looks back at you. Vox is in trouble. We only have time to
Got no
act.
time to waste. Let's go.
Cool. And you all run up out of the stairs with Ravenia Brighthand at your side.
Fauna brings up the rear, grabbing the cat off the table as she goes, who's like batting at the cards.
I can't. These are so cool. We should just take
we gotta
like.
go. We gotta
Look
go.
at how they
Come on.
flutter in the. Okay, yeah. They're like birds though. Okay, all right.
Here, I'll take some for you for later. And she grabs
Oh
a
my
few of
god,
the
thank
cards for the.
you. You're the best. Okay.
And cutscene.
Cutscene.
I feel like Vox is in trouble. Cutscenes, hard cuts to Perrin with his hands tied together.
We're actually we cut back Vox.
Real
Matchstick,
Vox.
Wait,
Matchstick,
which Vox?
aka Brahada, the Vox carrying the newly christened Brightburn, but still Matchstick too for sentimental reasons. We cut back, and Vox, you've made your way, like ascending higher and higher in the tower. It's really all you know. You know that when you saw your mother, she was on the highest balcony overlooking the city. And that's all you can think, is to go higher. You pass through more rooms, pass by more guards, all unnoticed. And I think as you finally slip into the room at the top, it's this wide, almost like semicircle of room. And it's a semicircle because, it's these sort of rounded walls and ceilings that are this half dome. And the half dome opens up and this is like a large open air room that just opens up into that enormous terrace at the top of the keep. And there are like multiple kind of like white and blue gauze curtains in this room. But they're open enough, it's pretty large room that you're in. They're open enough that you can like see out into the night sky. And hold on. Let me make sure my cue is as it should be.
I am as I should be.
I'm just making sure my little cue. Oh,
I'm the
that is,
little cue.
Yeah, that is funny. No, not you. Oh no, I messed up my music. Hold on just a second.
The little cue.
I've done terrible thing. Let me change the point. There we go.
Not the little cue.
Not the little cue. For the first time since you were a child, you see sitting on this large canopy bed facing the balcony, so her back is turned to you. You see a tall, slender, elven woman. Long, wavy hair like yours, but a much lighter shade of brown. And this is your mother.
Mama?
The woman turns and looks at you. And I'm going to make a little check right now. She looks at you, and at first the eyes you can see, it's like in that first moment she can't even really perceive you. It's almost like she looks right through you. She squints and takes a breath. Fox.
Mama.
No. You're here.
I'm here. You're here.
And she stands up from the bed and walks towards you. You cannot be my daughter. She's small.
I'm not small anymore. It's been so long. I'm not small.
No, you're not. And I think at this point she's reached you and she takes you in her arms. You're not small, but you feel like a daughter.
Fully let someone embrace her, which has been a long, I think even with Riviana, she was always the one to do the embracing. Even though she was shorter than Riviana, she always went for the big instead of the small. And she fully lets her mother embrace her and just thinks.
I thought I wasn't After Theon took me, I have... And you can see in that moment, all of a sudden, she pulls back. Theon. Balik. He knows. And I think before your mother can say another word, you see from the center of the room almost descending, there are these almost like black ribbon-like streams, and as they kind of like flow in the natural breeze that is in this open air room, you can see they grow longer, and then without warning, in an instant, one of them flicks out fast as lightning, covers your mother's mouth, and her eyes go wide. Another flicks out, grabs her wrist. Another flicks out, grabs the other, and they immediately pull back, and your mother is in a like sickening instant, like pulled back to the center of the room as these like weaving shadow-like ribbons restrain her in the center of the room. And you hear behind you a thin voice. If it isn't Vox Winvola, daughter of the beauty, Eva Winvola, tell me, to what do I owe the pleasure of your presence, my young elven maiden?
Let her go. Let her go. You've had her for too long. Let her go.
Let my sister go. She's been protected better than she ever would at my side. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm something of the king around here now.
You're a liar and a fake and a coward. And you took her. And she's missed so much. You coward.
Well, whether I am a coward remains to be seen, but I think we both know that I'm not the only liar in the room.
You made me this way. If I had her and my father, it would have been different. You did this.
You see, facing this man, tall, scrawny, white tunic with embroidery, pale skin, this white kind of almost greasy hair that just kind of like stands up and is just long enough to sort of curve to the side a little bit, a sunken face, this one eye incredibly dark, the other like looks like it's gone blind in it. It's white, misty. I think as he looks at you, you don't need to make a check for this. I think that you see, like, as he kind of like opens his mouth in a bit of a sneer, you see that there are these runes carved into his teeth and in like black symbols in each of the teeth that show. There are these, runes that sit in there. And I think as you're beginning to hear like whispers in the room, some higher, some lower, they're just like subtle. They're right at the edge and you can't make out. Like it's almost like the more you focus on them, the less it seems like they're saying anything at all. And Balik smiles, looks over his shoulder. What do you think, Theon? Do you think our little tornado here would have turned out any different with a mother and a father? And you see your uncle, the immense, broad-shouldered Theon Windviller, like step into view behind him. Doesn't say anything, just looks at you, looks at Eva, and then back at Balik. Well, I'm sorry, forgive me. Now that you're here, well, I suppose I should be getting on with everything. I'm sure you won't mind. I'm sure you won't mind, Eva, if your daughter accompanies us to your old home. I have a bit of loose end to tie up there. And I think in this moment you can see Balik like raises a hand, makes a little gesture, and two of those black shadowy ribbons snake out for you, Vox.
Vox is going to leap for her mother to just fully embrace and kind of tackle her mom at this point, just for the only person that she feels close to.
Okay. I think as you leap for your mother, are you trying to just like stay there in an embrace with her? Are you trying to like free her?
It's not even a free, it is just a full lunge to, she doesn't know what's happening at this point, but she knows that these black weaves aren't good, and this is her only family other than her bastard of an uncle. And so she's just going to like leap and cover her because she doesn't know what's happening. So she wants to take the full brunt of what is going to happen.
Go ahead, and you're going to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Wisdom save. Hold on. That was an 8.
On an 8.
Is my wisdom with whatever mask I'm wearing doing anything?
I think that you realize in the instant that like when you walked into the room and your mother
mask fell off.
recognized you, there's no enchantments in this room that Balik doesn't want in this room.
Yeah, well,
the mask isn't doing. However, with that exception, I will say that you do still feel bright burn, like you're burning more hot now than ever as you go to embrace your mother. Those shadows begin to weave around you. And as those shadows weave around both of you, like they begin to bind you there tightly with your mother, and then tighter and tighter. And I think as they begin to wrap you up and almost cocoon you, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Honestly, I have to say that any perception check you're going to throw at Vox is going to fail. She is just in her mother's embrace for the first time in years, and she's okay with dying there, and just feeling her mom hold her one more time. But I'll roll it for us.
Yeah,
And it is a 12. That box is
You
Yes.
fully lean into your mother's embrace. It is the only smell that you smell. Your eyes close and you wrap up. I think even with these things that are constricting, you still feel her warmth. And what you don't see, much like you didn't see the first time, is into the room, very small. Two tall men, wouldn't notice. You feel the shadows go slack as Balik loses his concentration on the hold person spell as he is thoroughly skewered in the back of his thigh by Sir Handsome Berthophiles. And I'm going to have you, Vox, go ahead and roll initiative. And we are going to, in that moment as you roll initiative, we're going to cut back to the tour.
You know what it is already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a 22. That is a natural 20 plus 2 on initiative.
Okay.
She's not gonna let baby Bert die.
Yeah.
Not gonna
All
let
right.
her mom die.
Bert's dying. Before we change scenes, welcome raiders from Stevie Mill Plays. Thanks for the raid coming in. And welcome to anybody who's sticking around and watching. We had that come through 20 minutes ago or so, and we all missed it because I was grabbing a snack, and I think I was the only one who had chat open. But thanks for coming in, everybody. Hi, we are in session. We're deep in it, so I'm sorry we're not seeing chat right now.
No one is paying attention to any of that. Most of all, me.
We're real professionals.
Yeah. That is also just so you know.
Again.
I'll tell you just for the theater of it. That was a nat 1 on Balik's initiative roll just now.
Fuck yeah! Fuck that man! I'm going to murder him.
Sucks.
Yeah.
I'm killing them all. I don't care if I die. That is Vox's whole thing.
Okay. So before, what I will say is like the tour is on, like, where are you trying to direct the tour, Atticus?
This one won't show me where the murder happened. Is that near here? I know it's morbid. But
I believe you're not the only one who's. I mean, according to what everyone says happened at the very top of the Red Keep itself, I can tell you, Balik doesn't much like the Royal Guard snooping around up there, but, you know, if I bring him the man who caught the King Killer...
you would probably be a general, or you could get an early retirement.
I mean, I'll be busy inventing these, manufacturing the keep'ems, what with your fine investment, but yeah, why not? Let's head up there. All the way to the tippy top.
Here, so just because we'll play out a little bit of the combat that's about to happen before we end the session. I will say that's going to get you to the top of the tower. The way that the party kind of comes in next time with the combat will be a little bit staggered. And I'll kind of give you the mechanics in it, like, essentially, Nyx and company, Nyx, Fauna, and Mori, and then Ravenia, you're going to be sneaking up from the bottom of the tower. And actually, why don't I'll just go ahead and I'm going to have you make another additional stealth check now that you're inside the keep now to try and get,
my favorite rolls.
Is that where Vox is in proximity, though? Is at the top?
Yep.
Like currently? Okay,
Yes.
So we're about to walk
Very
in
top.
on this?
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I had another thing in mind, but this works too.
Is it our regular stealth modifier plus the 10, or
Yep,
is it
plus the 10
just
and
the
the- yeah.
10?
Nope.
Okay.
Plus 10 plus the regular stealth.
That's a 37.
God
Okay.
damn.
Yeah, I got.
That is
Don't
a
mess with
wild
Nyx and their
stacking of
shadows.
stealth. That is wild.
Yeah.
I got 30.
I got 17.
I
A
did get
17 even with
one.
pass without trace?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was low. It was low.
I did get a nat one on the first roll, but I have advantage on stealth because of the cat. So,
Yeah.
Nice.
so it would have been real bad, but
I
it's
think
okay.
the group stealth though, so Ravinia got the same thing, Maury, as you did actually. But I think the group between a 30 and then a 37, like you're not gonna have to fight. You're gonna be able to sneak. So I think probably staggered you will come in like one round after the tour, most likely. But we are going to cut back, and because this combat is going to play out a little bit, Vox, the cords release you. Your mother, who I think you don't need to make a check. There's something powerful that like almost like now that Balik is here in the room keeps, while the ribbons aren't restrained, it like almost keeps her from acting. You see like the eyes go blank again as she just sort of like collapses into a heap on the floor as those shadows release. Your only known ally in the room right now is Bert, who has just skewered Balik in his thigh and is directly behind him, flanking him. Your uncle Theon, next to Balik, is also there. And it's your turn.
Vox is going to look at Bert. I told you. I can't be responsible again. I need you. Be strong, Bert. I'm sorry you're here. You weren't supposed to be here. And if you can do one thing, protect her. And I'm gonna look over at my mom. Protect her. That's what I need from you.
And I think in that moment, opening his mouth and breaking his vow of silence, Bert looks to you and says, "Well, if I can't protect your mother, then what kind of a knight am I?" And he's going to like pull out his rapier. Like in one quick motion, he just does this, like using the momentum of like pulling the blade out from he uses that momentum to slide underneath his legs and pops up and just goes sprinting back towards your mother.
Vox is gonna pull out Brightburn, and she calls him by his name, knowing that was the name he was called.
Yeah. You feel the heat burn as he says, "Oh, I think I'm going to like this blood very much."
And she is going to swipe. Who's closest? to her?
Balik is closest to you. Theon's standing to the side of him, but I think Balik's, you're in the center of the room, but you're still within 30 feet of getting to Balik.
She swipes at whoever is closest. At this point, it is just blood.
Yeah.
That she is going
Go
for.
ahead and make an attack roll for me. And I'm going to say, because Bert was just flanking too, and Bert is going to, on his turn, do what he did. But I think it's almost this motion where, you're pulling it and Bert is stepping into action as you're stepping in. So you sort of cross paths. You're still going to get that advantage from the
Guess
flanking
what?
that is happening.
That's a crit.
So here's what I'll say.
Did you just
to kind of
crit again?
I just critted.
Damn.
to tell you the mechanics of how your new like Brightburn works, you can, because you also crit easier now. You crit on a 19 or 22.
Yeah, that was a 19.
Yeah.
That was I was reading what you said, so
Yeah.
it was a 19 crit.
Damn.
So I will say one of the things that you get to do, and you obviously want to do it on a crit, that minus, like the bonus action that you can take where it's a -5 to attack and you can add the 3d6 fire, you can decide to do that after you roll your attack, but before you know whether it hits or not.
I also, sorry, I have to pull things up.
Yeah.
But as my assassin class that I took.
Oh, you took assassin.
Yeah, I took assassin. So any crit, that's a little double. Sorry, my mic is falling.
Yeah.
I need my boyfriend. Tyler. No, this.
The elbow.
Nice. Help.
Wait.
Sorry, we got very aggressive over here.
Did you just crit your mic, Q?
I did just crit my mic. I'm pretty sure I get an extra bonus.
I think you get, so assassinate means that if you are attacking any creature that is surprised, it's just an automatic critical hit if you hit. So you wouldn't have even needed to roll the critical hit. You also have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken their turn yet, but you already had advantage anyway. Yeah.
Anyway,
Basically,
sorry,
what I
Critic.
am saying
So-
though is if you want to take this with that new mechanic with Brightburn, if you want to take that -5 to attack before you learn if this hits or not, you can add that 3d6 fire damage, which because you're critting would turn into 6d6 fire damage.
Let's go for it.
So
Yeah.
basically what you're going to be rolling is double your amount of sneak attack dice, another 6d6 for the fire damage, and then double your dice for Brightburn, which is a rapier I think is 1d8, so 2d8 instead. And then being a +2 enchanted rapier, you're going to get an additional +2 to damage and then your dex bonus. So I think a total of +4 damage to all those dice rolled.
So, DM, how many dice do I roll? What do I roll?
Oh god, so your sneak attack, what's your sneak attack right now as a level 5? Is it 3d6?
Yeah, I gotta take a look.
I think
Alright,
it's 3d6.
I'm in like a weird half thing. Here we go. My sneak attack. 3d6.
So you're going to roll, oh god, you're going to roll 12d6 and 2d8 and then add 4 to it.
Jesus
12d6.
We're gonna show up next time and there's just gonna be corpses everywhere. We won't have to do anything.
Just dead.
So 12d6 and 2d8 plus what?
2d plus the 4, which is that's
4.
2 from the enchantment bonus and then 2 from your dex.
Jesus Christ.
2, 4, 6.
Just
Fox has
busted out an
bloodlust.
entire
Oh my
bag
God.
of D6 to handle this situation.
Yes.
12. Okay.
Oh my god.
This is amazing.
That is 16.
This is like turn
Yeah.
He's just blowing a crater in this person's chest.
26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34,
Holy shit.
35,
Brightburn likes being called his name.
40, 48.
This wasn't the big bad evil guy, was it? Because is the campaign over?
I
We
mean,
haven't
this
even
is kind of
started.
Box's.
In
This is
the
Box's.
dungeon yet. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Is 57 plus 2d8.
She's still going.
To defeat a villain through the power of math.
Oh my god.
I think this is our single biggest powered turn by like 25 to
yeah.
30
it's your
damage.
biggest.
Yeah.
It's your biggest hit ever.
I think we
Yeah.
topped over
Crazy.
30 on one hit
Yeah.
once. I think when Atticus critted, and then I got like a 28 when Perrin crit.
I did 42. That was my top one.
That's right,
Yes.
42.
Yeah.
So that's
Fox is going to be the
71
new.
damage.
71
Holy
points of
shit.
damage.
She's raging. She pulls out Brightfire to the closest person next to her and is just livid and wants to see blood.
Yeah.
Don't mess with Vox.
You
She's
leap
going to see
forward
ashes.
as passing Bert, almost like I think in that moment time slows down a little bit, and you feel the warmth from Brightburn intensify to this surging heat that flows through you. And in that moment, as a reaction, you see Balik is clutching the back of his leg. The hold person spell was dropped. He kind of has this snarl on his face, and you see in that moment as time seems to slow down, you see that snarl on his face turn into a sneer, and you see, don't hear, but you see behind his teeth his tongue moving as he utters this small whisper, and you see those little black runes on his teeth almost seem to intensify their blackness, and your uncle's eyes go blank, and he steps in front of the blade, and you skewer your uncle through the heart.
Fox, before seeing that, just shouts not a word, looking at the tongue, and then her uncle steps forward.
And as he takes the hit, I'm going to make a roll for him real quick. You don't need to make an insight check for this. As he steps forward, you see this blight, he's got a 1,000-yard stare. Your uncle is looking right through you. You might as well not be in the room to him. The blade pierces all the way through, out the other side, and the hilt of Brightburn comes right up, and you are right in front of your uncle. He just looks down at you, gives a cough, eyes still looking through you, 1,000-yard stare. Blood begins to run out of the corners of his mouth.
Is that you, little tornado? All grown up.
And leans in on the blade so that he's close to your ear.
Please. Please kill him for me. I didn't have the strength to do it.
I think that Vox is happy to kill him and pushes it in a little bit further, but hugs him because that was the man who trained her. Hugs him and just cries for a second and then out.
And I think as you push in a little bit harder, and then he sort of almost starts to slide off, and just looks at you.
No tears for me.
And slides off the blade. That was 30 feet of movement, and then the bonus action to throw the damage on there. So I think that's it for your turn. It is Bert's turn. Bert takes up a defensive stance in front of your mother, Eva. Theon is down for the count. I am, however, in his particular case, going to make death saving throws for him, so he's going to make his first one now. That's
Can I also take my cunning action?
you could if you hadn't, because it's a bonus action to throw that fire
Gotcha.
damage on Brightburn. So that
Word.
uses up your bonus action.
All right.
Okay. Balik, not even like looking down at Theon as he slumps to the ground, is going to. Oof. There's a lot of things to choose from here. I think you feel like looks at you.
Not a word. What about a whisper?
And with that, you feel this sliver pierce through your mind. And I need you to go ahead and make an intelligence saving throw for me.
$18.
Okay. On an 18, you feel that whisper pass through you, and for a moment it's painful, and then the fire of Brightburn fully washes through your body, and you don't feel that whisper in your mind anymore. And I think for a moment you do see a look of concern in Balik's one good eye as he sort of like takes a couple steps back from your uncle's corpse, putting a little more distance between the two of you. But he's going to stay there, and that's it for his turn. It's back to the top of the initiative order, which is you. And I will say this is the last kind of like round that we're going to go through in the session tonight.
Yeah, Fox hearing her uncle say is really thoughts in her head, and she is just not even the little bit of softness that Vox does normally carry. It is all just blood rage. That's gonna be a 17 to hit.
17 hits.
And am I allowed to do the same thing?
Oh. I will say, so I'll let you do it this in the future though, like when you do the -5 to attack, say it after, like before you, because you have to say it before I tell you if it hits or not, basically.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
I'll let you do it this time. Is that something that on a 17 you still want to do? Because you'll take those, so that would basically mean it's essentially rolling a 12 on the.
Well, I still want to try to hit it.
Okay. You take another one of those like smiting blows against him, but on a 12, like you can see with a quickness born of maybe a coward, definitely a spellcaster, and but like this is not the first time that this man has been in a conflict, and he nimbly like steps to the side as Brightburn goes next to him. Is there anything else you're doing with your turn?
I'm looking over at my mother, and just with sweat beading off of me and my uncle's blood going.
You say that. I'm going to make another save for Theon. Okay. I need to write myself a little note, or I will forget what those marks are for. Okay. Balik is going to take another turn. are. Whew. Okay. Yep. I need you, Vox. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me.
And can I use uncanny dodge if he's attacking me?
So not when it's a save. You can use uncanny dodge to like have the damage of a successful hit.
Yeah.
I think.
So this is the save.
Yeah. So when you take the damage, I think you can use uncanny dodge to like have whichever damage you take, whether you fail or succeed at the save.
That is going to be a 20.
Okay, so that's a success. So
That's there.
Yeah, on a success, you are only going to take. Hold on.
These new dice are great. I'm buying everyone them for Christmas. You.
You are going to take 44 points of psychic damage, halved to 22, because you succeeded at the save. And then if you want to use uncanny dodge, you can have it again for a total of so it'll be a total of 11 as you see like from different places in the room those same like ribbons of shadow
Girls.
like run, almost come like snaking across the floor to you, and as they like collide into you, there's almost just like you feel these like points of deep cold.
I already used my uncanny dodge, so I can't use my opportunity.
Okay, so then it is going to be 22 points of psychic damage.
Well, I just took it I took
Okay.
the half to uncanny dodge.
Okay.
And in Vox fashion, she spits blood at him.
And I
That
think,
is her thing.
yeah, that is where we in like those dark ribbons striking out towards you. Balik like standing in the entryway to the room, your mother in a heap on the floor, Bert standing over her in a protective stance, and your uncle
Bert's got my back.
Theon lying on the floor bleeding out in between you and Balik. And that is where we're going to end the session tonight. And we'll pick up next week with this combat and people entering at different times. And we'll see the
Entering at a different
conclusion
time.
of this. Yeah. We'll see this conclusion.
Non-consensual boxes.
You had that
I-
70 points of damage. Parent is going to come in and do like 8.
Vox squared.
God, that was so much damage.
That was
It was wild.
incredible.
Yeah.
I just need to know if Gert Mungler is gonna succeed in their business with my investment. You know,
Hey.
I'm pretty sure Parent is about to kill them.
This
As soon
is
as
the
we walk
last
through
thing
that
that I'll
door.
do on camera for the stream is we'll make a little check over here for Gert Mongler.
Never done that much.
And that is a
damage.
5 on the dice.
Wow, he's
everyone.
terrible.
So
Yikes.
Oh,
Stevie Mill Plays,
Jeez.
thanks for bringing your crew in. Thanks again for the raid. Thank you for anybody who stuck with us. We
Yes.
will be playing this campaign again next week.
thank
yeah,
you.
we'll
Yes,
see
no, we're
everyone
fine. Still do 70 plus damage.
yeah.